Wow. What's happening, everybody? It's your boy. It's Monday. We back. We are back. Welcome to Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Listen, I'm traveling. I am literally traveling. I'm in a hotel. I'm traveling. So you may hear some bangs and dicks and nicks or whatever. And I'm trying to make sure we don't get too super off the chain today. But I wanted to come back again on Are You Worthy? Are You Worthy? We are in part four of Are You Worthy? But this one, I wanted to go specifically to you. What are you? So when you talk about Are You Worthy? Let's look at it this way. What are some inner qualities of Are You Worthy? So if you want to do a subtopic for this, is inner qualities to Are You Worthy? And why are you worthy? So here are some of the things I'm going to point out. But before we do this, everybody, how everybody doing? How your mom and them doing? Hello to everybody all across the country, all across the world, to those that are going through some traumatic times right now, whether it's the hurricanes, whether it's unfortunately caught up into different disputes with different nations across the world. My heart goes out to you. I'm lifting you up in prayer. Thank you guys for logging in from wherever you are around the world. And if this is your first time logging in, don't make it your last time. Do not make it your last time. As a matter of fact, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, share, like, download, send it off, whatever you have to do. And that's under Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. That's LET apostrophe S. Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. Go there to the YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Go there, share, and have all of your friends to go and share and like and follow and subscribe, leave a comment, all of those good things. But let's get right into this. Um, I'm not my normal configuration as I normally would do my podcast, but I wanted to share this because it was on my heart. As a matter of fact, as I was traveling, this was something that came up to me. So if you want to write this down, just remember inner qualities. Are you worthy? And these are some of the qualities that prove that you are worthy. So let's do number one. Number one is having integrity, having integrity, having integrity. So here are some different definitions of integrity: the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. I actually like that. Having strong moral principles, your own morals, having those strong moral principles, moral uprightness, standing up. So here's another one: the state of being whole and undivided, the state of being whole and undivided. I mean, think about that, guys. You're talking about your integrity. It's amazing about when we talk about integrity, what does that look like? So that's one. You realize that we started off with the first one being integrity and who you are and whose you are, if you will, right? So what are you bringing to the table? What integrity do you bring to the table? Are you moral? Are you upright? Uprightness? Are you bringing that quality to the table? Are you being that one that everybody's looking for? Do you have those strong moral principles? Yes, you do. Are you being honest? Yes, you are. Here is something when you talk about being honest and moral principles and so on that a lot of people don't do. When a lot of times when people go through traumatic experiences, in relationships. Now, I'm not talking about just because your boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about relationships, period. When we go through those different relationships, you have to remember, realize, recognize, and understand. Sometimes that may bring people to a certain point and cover and hold certain things for their own personal gain because they don't want to be hurt any longer or anymore. But when you have those strong moral principles, eventually those are going to come out. Those are going to be authentic. Those are going to be the ones that show up. And you're going to be the one that's being in a state of wholeness. If you are going through some things right now and it doesn't feel like you're, I won't say authentic, it doesn't feel like you have the wholeness to keep your integrity together. I understand that. Believe me, I've been through some stuff in these last 3, 4 years that will stand people on top of their head. However, the state of being whole and undivided is incredible. I believe you have to, what do I say? Stay one with your actual creator. You have to stay that one, be in that space with your creator. So when you're doing this and you're continuously lifting things up, you don't have to go into a certain space thinking that you have lost something, you're missing something, but your integrity stays intact. Your integrity stays intact. That is very, very important. And a lot of people get a lot of something from that. I promise this is not going to be a long podcast, but I think integrity of when you're talking about those inner qualities, that is, in my opinion, that is number one, that integrity. What are you doing even when people are not looking? Keeping your integrity intact, that is absolutely incredible. Here's another one, number two, if you will. Number two, let me look at my little quick notes I wrote down. Number two, all right, authentic, authentic, being authentic, being authentic, being authentic. I'm just pulling up the definition of something of undisputed origin, genuine. That's the one I wanted to get to, genuine. Okay, so I was thinking about doing something regarding, are we the one? Are you the one? How do you know you're the one? But the only thing that I can think about when I was talking about doing something on the one is this, being authentic. So that sits into your inner qualities. You may say, are you the one? Yeah, I'm the one. But are you authentic? Are you actually genuine? Being that. And I don't know why this keeps pulling back to me, but when you go through something, you run through something, you've been pushed through something, you have to get back to your integrity and you have to get back to your authenticity, regardless of how someone may have pushed you away. But your inner qualities have to remain intact. Your integrity have to remain intact. Your authenticity have to remain intact. Now, being you is just being you. People may not like it, people may love it. It doesn't matter, but you must be authentic. Period. It doesn't go any further than that, other than you must continue to be authentic. A lot of times when I'll tell you this, I told a story before, but I'll say this. When I was in school and I felt like I lost my first love, which was my first love, which was baseball, and I couldn't play sports anymore. And then I went to just doing some things that just wasn't authentically me. Just started, like I said, drinking and just doing some different things that just was not me. It just authentically wasn't me. Yes, I can have a drink here, I can have a drink there. That's cool, but it's depending on me. I was doing it just because of the pain, and I wasn't being authentic. It wasn't my inner quality. It was just me kind of just saying, I'm drowning, I'm hurting. And a lot of times we have to recognize when we're in those spaces and say, you know what? I'm hurting. Help me. Somebody, please come around and talk to me and get me back on that space. That's why I personally think, a lot of people don't believe in counseling. Some people believe in counseling. It doesn't matter. I believe in having someone in a space where you can actually talk to, converse with, speak things out to get it out so you can continue being in a space of having your integrity in check, being authentic in every single thing that you do. Because when you're being authentic in what you're doing, it's allowing people to love you yourself, not other things, but it's allowing people to actually love you. And that's what you want. You don't want people to show up in their representative. You want people to show up as them. And that's where we can make a lot of great things happen, whether it's business, whether it's spiritual, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's at work or something. That's the things that we can do to make so many great things happen. And I think that's where we're missing things. And a lot of times we don't believe in ourselves. So we move away from authenticity and move to something that we think other people want to see us in. We think we move into places to where other people would like us to be. and all of that stuff. But guess what? When I was playing sports, and then all of a sudden, as I said, I lost my first love, and then I went to trying to drink and be all cool and all of that stuff. That wasn't me. I was living outside of my authenticity. Now I'm using drinking it. That was me, but other people, it may be smoking, it may be drinking, and it was just to numb the pain. That's all it was. It was just to numb the pain of what you was actually going through. So I'm speaking to everybody out there, and when I say you are worthy, you are truly worthy. Be your authentic self because your inner qualities demand that. And you have those inner qualities. I don't care what people said into the right or to the left, or what people said last week or last year. You are absolutely worthy, and you have everything you need to be in that space. Yes, you are. Yes, you do. Here's another one. Uh, Allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You got authentic and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Man, how many times do we put on these airs, right? And just instead of saying, you know what, I'm not there right now. Like I need help. I need to talk to somebody. I need to open up and share this pain that I'm feeling right now. And a lot of times we don't want to do it for whatever those reasons are. I'm not going to get into what the reasons are, but for whatever those reasons are, you just not being vulnerable, right? Sometimes it may be I don't trust the person could handle what I'm about to share. Others may have other reasons. They may say, oh, I don't want my business in the street, or somebody's going to run down and talk about it and say this and say that. I get all of those things. I promise. I get all of those things. I get it. But at some point, there's someone or somebodies that can actually handle your weight and allow you to truly be vulnerable in where you are and how you feeling, regardless of what you may believe. See, sometimes it's just us being embarrassed too, and it's our pride. We don't really want to say what it is. You know, we kind of, I don't really necessarily want to say what it is, but I have to say what it is because now I got to get it off of me. But see, when you are truly, truly, truly being vulnerable and you open up, like I shared that story, I don't know, a few weeks ago about my losing baseball, and then going and turning to everybody. I had all kind of messages, and people were complimenting me on being vulnerable and opening up and sharing, but that didn't always come easy. That's not easy to do, right? And I'm the first person to raise my hand and share with people that may not be easy for you to do. Not at all. It may not be easy for you to do, but in that space and in doing what we doing and all of those different things, at some point you have to be vulnerable. And a lot of times you cannot allow others to project on what your vulnerabilities are. And sometimes we hold those things, and when we open up to people, and sometimes we open up to people, they take it and they twist it and they try to use that vulnerability, and then they forget about you and your vulnerability, and then they try to move it to themselves, right? So I understand that. So I understand why sometimes you don't want to share, but we must find a person, in my opinion, to make yourself continue to have those great inner qualities come forward to prove you are worthy. I'm sharing with you right now, being vulnerable sometimes is the most difficult thing to do, because then we also have stealers. That's right. We have people that will steal your vulnerability. They will literally steal your vulnerability, because your vulnerability, they'll take that and use it at a later date. They will take things and use it at another time and use that to hurt you deeply. I mean, wound you, right? They'll do things they know that will just twist that little knife, and just they'll do it. That whether it's a saying, whether it's a verb, whether it's a sound, they will literally do that to create that. But your vulnerability, it continues to help you grow and continues to help in your inner qualities. And in your inner qualities, family, in your inner qualities, you are worthy. You are worthy. See, sometimes we're doubting, but no, you are worthy. Here's another one: loving others. Sometimes you have to love others in spite of. Woo. Sometimes you have to love others in spite of. And a lot of times, let me just say this. There are some people that have taken you to places where you never thought in a million years that you would go to. And when I say they take you places, I mean in the depths of your pain, you want to react and do some stuff. But you know what? Your inner quality, your inner you, and who you are is love. You are love, not others, you. You are love. You're worthy to be loved and you're worthy to love. So when you talk about loving others, don't allow when they're having a bad day, a bad week, a bad month, even a bad year, a bad decade, to allow that to bring you down to their level and speak and do certain things. No, handle it with care and with love because we have always been in a space, you and I, we've always been in that space and that opportunity in that place to where we fell down too. Our inner qualities have not always been the best, right? We've drove people to drink. We've drove people to be on their knees all the time. We've drove people to just want to just do something to us because we have taken them to that point. Don't allow that because somebody else did it to you for you to forget some of the things you have done. So when I say love others, not just you, we have to keep that in mind and make sure that we're not running down the street taking other people's stuff and then acting like we didn't do it. Oh, we never did that before. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we have issues, we have challenges, we have problems even sometimes. But the inner qualities of you are still great. You're still worthy. You are because you're working on being a better version of yourself. Only a very, 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 very few amount of people around the world are trying not to be the best version of themselves. Now, some may go faster than others. I get it. But when you're talking about loving someone else and loving others, sometimes that is not the easiest thing. Well, you may have a pet peeve about people being late, right? And you have this one friend or this one cousin or this one family member, I'll say, that always show up late. Or if not, they're going to be on two wheels getting there and they're going to be rolling up right at the 1 minute before. I mean, 30 seconds before. They're rolling right on time, right? And then you up in there sweating, you want to just scream, you don't know what to say with yourself. All of those things, you just like, oh my God, you're doing those things. So for you have to remember, well, there are times where you've done that to people as well. You've put the tops on the wrong pots. You've had toothpaste going crazy, or whatever those things may be. So when you're loving somebody, make sure you do it and love yourself. And make sure you don't just start throwing casting stones and all of that stuff, knowing that you've done some things, I'll just say yourself. All right. So that's one thing. How about this? So when you talk about inequalities, how about putting people first? Putting people first. You know, I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and this was a while ago, but we were talking about serving, right? When we talk about putting people first, that's great, and we can, and we do a lot to put people first to make sure their quality is good, to make sure what they're doing is great, make sure what they're doing is sane, and we love those things. But let me share something else too. I'm gonna add this to this part: serving somebody else because it isn't always good. I want to tap into a relationship principle that I believe. All of the stuff I've been through in my life, all the things that I've, gone through, and all the things I've grown through and learned through. One thing I learned about relationships to everybody out there, if you believe in putting that other person first, your husband or your wife, you put that person first. You serve that person authentically. You serve that person with great integrity. You serve that person with great love. And you putting that person first. And that person is doing the same thing to you, man, there's no greater love than that. There's no greater love than that. And you putting that person first. So now they're feeling every part of your authenticity, every part of your integrity, every part of your love because you're pouring into them. So now when people start talking about intimacy and affection and all of those other things, you are pouring that into them. and they're pouring it into you. So now you have no lack in that standpoint. You have no lack in loving. You have no lack into making sure. You have no lack into, let me make sure that I'm on the same page with him, or let me make sure I'm on the same page with her, because I don't want my pride to get before me, because you're in inner qualities dictate that. So now when you're saying you are worthy, I'm worthy of that love because I'm also sharing that love with somebody. I'm sharing that love with that other person. And when you're both are doing it, man, you can see it when that person, when that couple walk up. You can see the love, you can see the passion, you can see the power, you can see the love just in their eyes as they walk. They may not even be holding hands, but you can see it. They may be sitting down just drinking water. You can see it. So when you're talking about putting and loving others and putting others first, because your inner qualities allow you to do that, there's no selfishness in that. There's no selfish in that. It's not. Here's another one. It's as you say. I'm starting to like this now. I'm starting to get good. So when you're saying all that and putting people first, here's another one. When you're putting somebody first, you also, let's just say, let's be humble. Being humble, humbling yourself. Sometimes somebody can have a bad day, a bad couple of days, and that's fine. That's fine. You put that other person first, but now you're humbling yourself not to spew out or reflect back what they're doing. But what we can do is humble ourselves and say, hey, supervisor so and so, are you okay? Ooh. I know they came at you wrong, they came at you hard, they came at you crooked, they came at you dirty, but are you okay? Just because you won $1 million in a lawsuit, you don't have to then turn back around and go and tell everybody about what you're gonna do, or 10 million, or 100 million, or $1 billion, and tell everybody about how you're gonna. No, stay humble, stay gratitude, have that gratitude, right? Allow that's in you, in your inner qualities, to stay in that space. Yes, because you are worthy. And when you're reflecting those things to other people, it then becomes to reflect back to you. See, my whole thing in doing all of these things about are you worthy is putting us in position to, the last one I'm going to say today, believe. Believe in you. And that is another one I'm going to put in there, spirituality, but believing in you. But believe in you. Let's just believe. Let's believe in ourselves. Most times because of negativity that's going around, and what's, I don't know what's going on in society, but a lot of times this negativity is selling. It sells hotcakes. It sells quick. It sells fast. But you don't see uh, good morning shows or midday shows of talking about all of the greatness and wonderfulness that's going on. They don't make money. So you don't have those shows. But when you believe in yourself, in your inner qualities, and those things that you have, I'm telling you, it doesn't get any better because you believe it in yourself, which then reflect that you also believe in the higher power, your creator, your God that put you here. You begin to believe in what he said about you. If he said you're the one, if he said you're my child, if he said I will never leave you nor forsake you, and you believe that, then you walk with a different confidence. You walk with a different power. You walk with a different love for other people. You're willing to serve. You're willing to keep your integrity intact. You're willing to be vulnerable. You're willing to, which one I miss? Be authentic. You're willing to do those things. You're willing to put other people first because you know your creator has put you in such a wonderful space that there's nothing no one else can do to separate you from the love of you and your God. So if that's the case, and you believe in you and you believe in your other, in your higher power, for me is believing in God and allowing those things to happen, man, your inner quality keeps you moving forward. In your inner qualities, it begins to make you become the attraction and not the repellent. See, a lot of times people really, they talk a good game and they say some great things, but they don't really want to go deep into that. You know, a lot of times people are moving on a spiritual plane and they're talking and they're sharing things. And sometimes, you know, for some of you guys out there, you guys understand this. Sometimes God will ask you to do something that makes absolutely no sense to you. Let me just keep it a whole hundred. It makes no sense to you, but because of the relationship you have with your creator, right? It may not make sense, but when you try to share it with others, even then, sometimes it just be like, that don't make sense. That don't make sense. And a lot of people try to run away from that. But in your inner qualities, if you know that person have integrity, if you know that person have these wonderful qualities, if you know that person is authentic, if you know that person is being vulnerable and sharing something that intimate with you, why don't you believe them? Why don't you believe them? Why don't you just believe in all of the things that you believe in and not listen to what it's saying? It don't matter what happened 2 days ago. That person is trying to share. Sometimes it may be confusing. Well, whatever it is, but the inner qualities of that person is sharing at their best. So my question becomes to everybody, my question becomes, do you believe in your own inner quality? See, God did not put you here just because. You have a purpose and you are worthy to receive not just your purpose, but you are worthy to receive all of the accolades, all of the blessings that God has poured in you to take whatever those next steps are. I'm telling you, this is like the whole worthy series has truly challenged me because when you look that fam, let's keep it a whole hundred. Let's be vulnerable a little bit on this call. Let's go there. You go through some things that you have went through. I went through some things that I've went through. You went through a divorce. You unfortunately I lost my dad. You went through I went through cancer. So you had some major things happen back to back to back. This is not for pity. This is not for sorrow. This is not always no 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 no. But you go through those things, right? And some days you struggle. So some days you let me raise your hand. Some days you just struggle, but yet you have to keep going, right? You have your integrity intact. You're being vulnerable. You're honest. You know, you're doing so many other things. You're the vulnerability, you're authentic, you're loving others, you're putting other people first, you're believing in yourself, you're keeping a higher power. But then some days something will hit you. It may be grief, it may be sorrow, it may be sadness, just come from out of nowhere. And it hit you in such a space, you're just like, oh man, I don't even want to be bothered right now. But guess what? Because of who you are, you have to keep going. You have to keep pushing because somebody is looking at you. Somebody is holding on to your strength. Somebody's holding on to your power to help them keep going forward because of who you are and how your creator have put you in certain places to be. You have to keep going. You have to keep going. Yes, you're always the one that have to be the strongest. Yes, you're always the one that people look for and always pulling on. We get that. You're going in multiple directions, but you have to keep going because there are others that are relying on you. There are others that don't have the strength you have to keep going. There are others that wanting your strength but have no idea of even how to get it, how to even face other people. They want to be in a space to help themselves, but may not have the power right now to help themselves. And because you put one foot in front of the other, and because you keep grinding, regardless of what's happening, you're giving others that strength. You're giving others that love and that power and that passion. I'm sharing this with you guys because there are days, and I'm speaking to some of you guys out there, where you don't even want to get out the bed. I mean, you just want to put the covers over your head, and yet you still wake up and put those shoes on, and you still go to whether it's your job, your business, or online, or whatever it may be, and you're doing every single thing you can to continue to push forward. And yet it feels like somebody's behind, keep pulling you back and, you know, kicking you and punching you and stabbing you and all those things. Keep going. Your internal qualities are great, and you are worthy. You are worthy. You are worthy. I'm telling you, you are worthy. Your inner qualities are there, and you are worthy. Now let's pull out those inner qualities. There is no homework tonight. No, I'll take that back. Yeah, there is. Do a self evaluation on these qualities that we talked about. Just do a quick self evaluation on these qualities we talked about. Shoot me a message, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, whatever it may be, on these internal qualities that we talked about. I'm not here to judge, but I want you to write it out so you can see exactly what it is for yourself and who you are, because you are worthy. Your inner qualities, you are worthy. Who you are right this second, you are worthy. So let's do that, family. Let's do a quick check, a diagnostic on ourselves. Let's just look at it. Look at our internal qualities. And if it's something that we have to work on, great. We just work on those qualities. But regardless of what it is, remember, you are worthy. So with that being said, listen, I told you guys this was going to be a long podcast. Let's go ahead on and do that homework. Go to all of the social media platforms for Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also let's go to the YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share, send me a message, say hello, whatever it may be, and I'll respond back to you. All right. So with that being said, I love you guys. You guys be safe. Keep being a blessing to so many other people. And I know October is celebrated as Breast Cancer Month. So all of the survivors, I send love, share love, and with you guys. And let's keep going. Let's keep grinding, because your story is powerful too. All right. So that being said, I love each and every one of you. God bless. And I will see you guys next week on Let's Talk with Stanley Doucette. We out. Peace.